So, I have put together a PowerPoint video for you in order to help you understand what it is that I do, how it's done, and most importantly, why I do what I do at the Black Sheep Financialist. We have a powerful partnership that allows me to be able to apply these types of services without having to charge my clients extra, which is a pretty big deal. But I need to be able to explain that to you. So I put together a PowerPoint video that has a lot more information. It doesn't have all of the information that you need in order to fully understand, but it is a start.
Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're doing things a little differently today. We are taking a cute, clever, and completely unconventional black sheep approach to a topic that, honestly, your brain desperately wants to ignore. Yep, we're talking about life insurance. I know, don't click away. We're actually going to look at a progressive, empowering way to protect your future and your family that goes way beyond those traditional depressing methods. So let's get ready to stand out from the flock.
Okay, so let's just dive right into it by asking a really simple question. Why does your brain literally shut down the second you hear the words life insurance or estate planning? Well, if you've been procrastinating on this, science actually says it's not your fault. It's neuroscience. See, our brains are constantly gathering and storing knowledge as a survival mechanism to keep us alive. But when it comes to predicting our own mortality, the brain's predictive abilities basically hit a brick wall. It literally cannot process its own non-existence. So rather than dealing with a concept it just can't compute, your brain hits the emergency eject button.
Section 1. The brain block. The psychology of avoidance. To really understand this block, we have to look at how our brains are hardwired to avoid thoughts of mortality, just to keep us happily humming along. It's this emotional trap called the psychology of avoidance. Confronting insurance forces us to imagine our own absence, and that triggers a psychological response called mortality salience. Basically, it creates this subtle, creeping anxiety. So, to cope, our brains use a mechanism called present bias, meaning we prioritize immediate comfort and convince ourselves that bad things only happen to other people, right? We tell ourselves we just need more research or more time before making a decision, but the ultimate result? Procrastination. And the worst part is, that permanently transfers your financial risk directly onto your loved ones. It leaves them totally vulnerable, while you get to enjoy temporary peace of mind.
Section 2. The agitation. America's harsh financial reality.
The thing is, when you let that psychological avoidance win out, the environment around us doesn't just pause and wait for us to be emotionally ready. The modern American economy is pretty unforgiving. To put this into perspective, look at the data. Get this. A staggering 46% of working-age adults skipped or delayed medical care in the past year simply because of the cost. Think about that for a second. That is almost half the population making dangerous, potentially life-altering compromises with their health, despite historically high levels of health insurance coverage. The out-of-pocket reality is just too expensive, and it's turning manageable medical issues into massive financial burdens. And it doesn't stop there. 43% of working-age adults are what we call inadequately insured. What does that mean? Well, it means that even if they technically have coverage, it doesn't provide affordable access to actual health care. They're left completely exposed to massive deductibles and sky-high out-of-pocket maximums. In fact, half of surveyed adults said they couldn't even handle an unexpected $1,000 medical bill within 30 days without going into debt. So I have to ask, if an emergency struck tomorrow, could your savings handle it? It's a terrifying question, I know, but it really highlights exactly why doing nothing is literally the riskiest move of all. Now this brings us to a pervasive modern myth. When unexpected tragedies happen, a lot of people today just assume they can turn to the internet to be saved. And while platforms like GoFundMe are super popular for memorials and medical bills, digital crowdfunding is never, ever guaranteed. Relying on the charity of friends, family, or even strangers often falls completely short of what surviving relatives actually need to cover the mortgage, household expenses, and those looming medical debts. Hope is a beautiful thing, it really is, but it is not a financial plan. It leaves your flock incredibly exposed.
Section 3. The solution. The black sheep way.
Okay, to fix this, we need a pattern interrupt. We absolutely cannot keep doing what everyone else is doing if it leaves us this exposed. Let's compare the two approaches. The Hertz way is that traditional, taboo route. You pay premiums for decades just for a morbid death benefit that only pays out when you pass away. It's rigid, it's depressing, and honestly, it's exactly why our brains avoid it. But the black sheep way? It flips this entirely. It focuses on proactive living benefits that are flexible, clever, and totally empowering while you are still alive. It's all about securing your lifestyle today, taking charge of your circumstances, and building a safety net that actually works for you right now, not just a legacy for tomorrow. And here's the cleverest part of the black sheep strategy. You don't have to go out and buy 4 different expensive policies to cover all your bases. Instead, one combined solution dynamically addresses multiple needs: disability income, retirement savings, life insurance, and accelerated living benefits, all at once. Yep, it's one product, one premium, one company. You're basically protecting yourself from life interrupted, fully preparing for those unexpected costs you couldn't have foreseen. It simplifies your finances while dramatically increasing your protection. A real game changer, right? Section 4. Building your policy. Harnessing living benefits. So, what are the actual tools that make this progressive, multifaceted reality possible? How do you build a policy that acts as a living, breathing safety net? Well, the secret relies on something called a rider. If you're not familiar, think of a rider kind of like adding a custom app to your smartphone. It's a supplemental benefit that customizes your base life insurance policy to handle your specific real-life interruptions. They are the ingenious little tools that transform a standard, boring policy into a dynamic, highly personalized shield for your flock. And these definitely aren't your grandfather's life insurance terms. Look at some of these unconventional riders. The unique combo multi-choice rider lets you affordably add term coverage for up to 5 individuals, like your spouse or maybe a business partner, under one single roof, which saves so much money. Then there's the Gap Protector, which automatically increases your coverage without needing new, annoying medical exams or blood tests. There's also an extended hospital stay rider that pays out an additional $5,000 if you're confined to a hospital for 20 consecutive days. Oh, and the unemployment waiver, that actually waives your surrender charges if you're out of work for 12 months. That is real-world protection that actually cares about what you're going through. Perhaps the absolutely most vital part of this whole black sheep strategy is accelerated living benefits. By prioritizing these, you gain tax-free access to your funds if you face a critical injury, a terminal illness, or even a chronic condition like Alzheimer's or Lewy body dementia. So if you become ill and face those rising healthcare out-of-pocket expenses we discussed earlier, your policy immediately steps in as your safety net. It can provide the money to replace lost income, pay off mounting medical debts, or even make necessary home repairs to accommodate new physical limitations. The entire point is you don't have to die to use it. You get to maintain your dignity and keep your family's financial stability completely intact. Section 5. Action. Protecting the flock. All right, now that we understand the psychology holding us back and the incredibly smart solutions out there, let's look at how you can take control today. To overcome your brain's natural avoidance, you really have to ease into it. Step 1. Start the talk with your loved ones. We know it's awkward, so use a prop to make it less intimidating. Bring up a news article or a book, or even a story about someone you know, just to deflect the directness of the topic. Step 2. Gather your medical, financial, and legal documents into one easily accessible place. And Step 3. Sit down with an advisor and specifically ask them about progressive living benefits and riders. As the experts say, doing so now is a gift to you both. Getting this stuff done before a crisis hits ensures that your family's decisions are based on careful preparation, not on panic, grief, or fear. You're removing the uncertainty and lifting a tremendous, agonizing emotional burden right off the shoulders of the people you love the most. You literally give them the space to just be with you rather than scrambling to figure out how to pay the bills. So I want you to take a moment today to reflect on your own psychology. Are you going to let your brain's natural avoidance leave your family financially vulnerable? Or are you ready to step away from the crowd, embrace a smarter way of thinking, and secure your living future? Will you blindly follow the herd, or will you be the clever, cute black sheep that protects the flock? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to take that next great step.